Did you get that? There was really just one line you had to write. But the key was making sure you have all the pieces that you needed to write the splice. So splice. Okay, now before you do splice, you have to do the array because we're passing in the reference dot splice. And now we tell it which is the index and how many items do we want to delete. Check that out. That's all you need to do. It's actually a really powerful line. That is kind of the hack that we're doing here, but I'm okay with it. You'll see as we get closer. All right, so let's just see if it worked first before I get all giddy about it. Okay, good. So we have a breakpoint inside. We hit delete. It says, yeah, we're inside. I have the event. And now I'm going to call, wow, that was it. No, I think I just, no, I do have still the data reference, and look, it is empty. Nothing in there. Right? It worked. But what's not satisfying here is this didn't work because that was already rendered. All we did was delete it out of the array of objects. We didn't re-render. So what would we need to do after we do this? Render table passing in data, because data is the reference. Now we could have actually, well, actually no, we have to, because it needs it, right? Remember, this data is just a reference that is referencing this where we've declared it here. So we could actually, this is really what we're, because this is being passed by reference here, that inside of here, we're calling that, we're declaring that inside of this module and inside of these functions as data, but it's really a reference back to that array. Okay, so now that we have that, is it satisfying? Do we actually get, right? Do we get the satisfaction of it deleting? Delete. Okay, well now we're still walking through, so let's just let it run. It did. But now, there's always in programming, there's always like, you get some satisfaction. Okay, you get a lot, but depending on who you are. But now what? Right? So we got to fix that. That actually might be one of the challenges I have you do. It's a relatively simple thing. I bet you could already figure out how to do this to where we clear this. Now the question would be, why are we getting that, right? Because it looks like if we walk through, let's spend a minute here on the table. We're rendering the headings, and when we render the headings, we're clearing the HTML. So why wouldn't it be doing it, right? All right, I think I will leave that because that's a fun one to think about and where we could actually fix that. But let's actually move on. And then, well, I think I'll leave that one. Again, I think I'll think about that one, but leave it. So now let's think about how do we now, right? How do we do the edit? The button, edit, okay, dot, same thing. Add event listener, same, click, function, comma. You have to do a comma here. Because what you're doing is this now is your callback. This should be, you should be saying it with me. That's a callback function. So when it clicks, when you click here, do this. So now here's the thing. How do we edit? Right? How do we edit this? How do we edit this entry? We've got this data, right? That's calculated based on our inputs. So kind of a hack way of doing it, and I say this in all respect for hacking, okay, is when we hit the delete, we could just repopulate these with the data that we already have. Whoa, really? Yeah, we could do that. How would we do that? Would be a question. Okay. So I think this is actually going to be the discussion. I want you to, so you can go ahead, we'll go ahead and commit this. We'll submit this as your final code along commit for this. But I want you to give this some thought. Matter of fact, here's the deal. in your, let's put it, I already had you create a README file already. So in there, put a heading and tell me, what do you think? How would we do this? How would we, if we hit edit, just repopulate or update these things to be the values we already have? Just try it. Give it some thought. Okay. All right. I think that sets us up well for the discussion this week. So I'll give you a commit message here, and then we'll pick it up on the discussion.